So we are letting people in. Yeah. So I'll wait a little. Oh, it looks like everybody's here. A whole bunch of people are in. Okay. So let's get started. So welcome to this introductory webinar for the Iliad Hackathon. My name is Bente Liljaby. I'm one of the co-organizers, and of course a partner of Iliad. And we are super excited to get started. And I'm sure you are curious on how this will actually take place and how we are going to do this. And with us today, of course, Tom Red from Hoboken, who is the lead organizer of our Iliad Hackathon. He will introduce us to the hackathon itself, to remind you about the overall goal, and also some practical information on how we are going to get this really started. So Tom, I think I give the floor to you right away. If you have questions, please ask, write in the chat, and then afterwards we will of course also give you the floor to ask questions directly, but do comment and ask questions in the chat. This will be recorded so that you can revisit afterwards. Thank you. Yep. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And can you see my screen shared?
Yes,
good.
We can.
Okay, thanks, Bente. Yeah, so today is really the kickoff of the hackathon itself. We've had a few introductory webinars which we'll make available as resources. They were talking about the 3 themes of the hackathon, and today we wanted to start on the formation of teams and give some details about the practicalities of the hackathon. So just a reminder of the goal. It will be to unite interdisciplinary teams in developing cross-cutting digital tools for integrating diverse data sources and constructing digital twins of the ocean to advance sustainable ocean management, which is, of course, very well aligned with the Iliad project, which you can find more details about through oceantwin.eu. So the reason we selected these 3 themes, digital twins of the ocean in action, fusing Gen AI digital twins, and interoperability between digital twins, is because they kind of represent a little bit of everything that Iliad's about and more. So the Iliad project, of course, has been developing federated digital twins of the ocean as part of one of the aspects of the project, the main aspect of the project. And in doing so has developed a number of technical components and resources to support people in building their own digital twins. So we thought having one theme on putting these components to use in action and demonstrating how to build digital twins of the ocean would be a really great theme to have. So it can be development of digital twins from within the Iliad project, but also outside of the Iliad project, because that's something that we really want to be able to enable. Related to that is, of course, interoperability between digital twins. And this is a big topic. So one of the great examples that we sort of hear about is how you know, build the digital twin is the nice front end, but the architecture, the pipes connecting data to decision making really requires a lot of work on thinking about interoperability, and that's why we wanted that to be a key focus of the hackathon. And then finally, the theme related to Gen AI and digital twins is because we figured that, you know, having a hackathon in 2024 and not featuring AI would be a real misstep, even if it's not in the Iliad project. It really, the concept of fusing Gen AI and digital twins has a lot of potential. And just to think, when the Iliad project started, this sort of current public interest in Gen AI at least was nowhere, and that this has come a huge way in the last couple of years, and so something that we really wanted to have as a theme. The objectives for the webinar, for the hackathon, are to advance digital twin landscapes, transforming pilots and concepts into functional digital twins, Reusing the existing Iliad components, as I mentioned, a lot have been produced in the project, and we want to make sure that that gets used beyond the life of the project. Leveraging different federated data platforms, including the data platform that Hub Ocean, who I work for, is building, called the Ocean Data Platform, to support people building their own digital twins of the ocean, and also improving technical capabilities that already exist. And as I say, the main one is to demonstrate interoperability, and we're fortunate to have partners from the eDitto, Blue Cloud, eModNet, and Destination Earth, and Copernicus, who have been really actively engaged in supporting this hackathon, and we'll have some more details about that coming up. So this is just an overview of the timeline of the hackathon. So a lot of you have heard about it, that's why you're here, before, and you've registered in the pre-registration, and we're sort of now in the process of forming teams. So we had the formal deadline for signing up was the 31st of May, and then today we're going to start the process of forming teams and identifying teams. So I'll give a little bit more details about that. We then have a virtual hackathon, which will continue over the summer, which will be webinars, both educational and practical, in supporting teams in building their sort of concepts, and giving people time to do a bit of preparation work before we have a final physical hackathon in September, and I'll give a little bit more details about that. So this is just an overview of the timeline, and we're sort of at the bit of the intro and the team form part. So yeah, so I mentioned that this is kind of the hackathon split into two. We have a virtual, which is allows for the teams to be built and to get some ideas. There's a lot of components from Iliad that we want to make available to participants of this hackathon. So giving time to be able to support people and show what those components are and what they can do is something that we wanted to do in the virtual time, and also to look at how to use other technologies from outside of the project, so including eDitto, eModNet, Destination Earth, and Copernicus. We thought that was best suited to work virtual and a bit longer form hackathon. And then finally, the physical event, which will take place on the 11th and 12th of September in Oslo, is a chance for the teams to get together and work hard in a short space of time in a more traditional hackathon format. So, you know, putting people in a room, getting some stuff done, and then presenting what you've done at the end of it will take place in September. So now it's really exciting that we get to form the teams. So what we thought is, and I'll sort of talk about how we do this at the end, we wanted to sort of throw this open to you, the participants, to have a chance to propose teams and form them organically. So we have a short questionnaire which will be circulating after the end of this webinar that just asks everybody who has an idea for building a team to just present that to us, just so that we know we can have a list of who is thinking that they have a good idea for a team, and we can then have a list that other people can join. So if you don't have an idea for a team, it doesn't matter. You can also join other people's teams. So that's not a problem. And hopefully, I think there were 110 people registered already for the hackathon. I hope we don't have 110 ideas for teams, because that won't really work. So that's an idea, just to give everybody a chance to form teams, and then eventually people will be able to sign up for those teams, and we'll think that will take place in next week or so, and then the work begins. And then just in terms of sort of the physical hackathon, so obviously space will be limited, so we won't be able to accommodate everybody who signed up for the virtual hackathon. So there will need to be a little bit of a selection process, which we'll give some more details on throughout June, and to make sure that people know who's coming in September, and so we know who's coming in September, so we can plan accordingly. We Iliad will be providing some resources to you, the participants of the hackathon. So we'll be setting up a Discord channel with a general channel for people to just talk about, and we can provide information through that to everybody. And then we'll also be creating individual team channels so that you can work and collaborate on Discord and communicate on Discord. I must admit, I haven't used it before, so I feel like I'm one of these people talking about something they don't really understand, but I'm told it's a really good tool for collaboration. So that will be set up in the coming weeks once the teams have been identified. We'll also be creating a collaborative workspace for sharing documents in the Iliad Twin Lab. and we'll be providing resources to support you with the use of Iliad technical components and also components outside of the Iliad project. Just as a sort of example of, I think there's a bit of a problem with this slide, but this was supposed to just give an example of how one of the digital twins of the ocean has been developed in Iliad, just to sort of give you an example of the kinds of tools that have been made available in the project and have been developed in the project. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see the first few points on that slide, so I can't remember off the top of my head that they were. I think we'll fix that and put that in the resources package. But as I mentioned, there are a lot of tools that have been made available, and we can make those available to you to use in the hackathon. Just a few more sort of details to sort of help in thinking about preparing your teams. So there will be an evaluation criteria at the end, including, these are pretty standard, innovation, interoperability. Well, I guess use of Iliad technologies isn't fairly standard, but it's one that we find is important. Impact and presentation. And these will be used to assess, although, we want everybody to compete and have a good success. We do think that it's kind of fun to have a few prizes that we will identify, which will be related to the different themes. And because we Hub Ocean are supporting it with our Ocean Data Platform, we decided to put in a prize category for best use of Ocean Data Platform. There will be good prizes related to these categories. We're in the process of identifying them now, but certainly they'll be related to promotion, support for travel to events, and some other things that we're looking at putting together a package for prizes. So yeah, look forward to seeing those coming out in the next week or so, and yeah, hopefully that will support you in engaging in this hackathon, and also giving those who win something to continue the work that they're doing, and see how far they can go in developing these digital twins projects. So yeah, this is towards the end of my presentation of the practical aspects. So this QR code will take you to the form for signing up, tell us about the team ideas that you might have. We'll also send an email around after this webinar to present to you, or to ask you to fill in this form and to provide some more practical details. And for those that weren't able to make this webinar, we'll provide a little summary. And also, as I say, this webinar was recorded, so people are able to refer back to it if you weren't able to join the webinar. With that, I will say thank you very much, and I'll stop sharing my screen and turn it over to questions. Now, the first time I'm organising a webinar on Teams, so I'm not quite sure how the next process works, but if somebody has any questions, I think if you can try raising your hand or putting a question in the chat, then yeah, then I might be able to see it that way.
Yeah. We have, meanwhile, where people are raising hands or making comments, just a reminder of the description of the hackathon on our webpage is in the chat. I probably have to put it in again because some people were arriving after I put that link in there. Sophia from American University of Armenia, she has started to work on systemizing the overview of all the technical and non-technical resources that we will make available for you in this hackathon. And you see in the chat, she has given a category of different resources that will be made available. We have a lot of material ready for you already that will be put on the web page, a dedicated place on the marketplace where you can find these resources with links to the resources. Some of the resources are currently are already on the marketplace, so you will be able to find it. And during the next few weeks, it will be much more Iliad material also available directly from the marketplace, and we will help you to maneuver there by making special links for you for this hackathon. Tom, I don't think I noticed. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. But did you say that the workspace will be the Twin Labs on? Yes, you did.
Yep, I
And
did.
then
Yeah.
yeah, so I can actually share the Twin Labs if you haven't been able to find it yet. I will just share a link here in the chat so you can see where have a look at it if you haven't. So for each of the teams that will be formed, you will be creating your own space on Twin Labs. You will be using Twin Labs. Those of you are, of course, already in Iliad, you know about this, and have many of you have already used it. But it will be for each of the teams that you are setting up now. It will be a dedicated project. So each team will sort of create a mini project, digital twin project, and work from that and use that space. We have instructions already, and Simon Keeble, he will also provide even more how-tos for you to be able to really exploit the Twin Lab resources we have on Iliad. In addition to that, we have already a package sent to us from Ebodnet, and I'm sure many of you will be benefiting from using that. And we will also get some instructions from Ebodnet to help. We also will have support from Destination Earth, particularly from the ECMWF. And there will be some both online and actually practical when we come to Oslo at the end. So there will be additional external resources, and we will make it easy for you to find it on the Iliad Marketplace on a dedicated page for the Iliad Hackathon. So yes, so then Tom just posted the link to the form. And Tom, we also have provided for several of you here will be leading a team or / we call it a mentor. So mentoring the other members of the team. And we have created actually two guidelines. Well, actually one guideline and a checklist for you to be able to follow up on that, to help you do that work. Remember, this is an online hackathon going over, well, it's a hybrid, but a long part of it will be online. And we are facilitating this activity, and you can actually dimension it and as according to your capability to work. We are an online hackathon over such a long period is actually facilitating mobilizing resources in bulks. Sometimes it's a person who can work for intensely for a couple of weeks, and then others can work in other periods, and you'll have to make a plan then with the resources in your team. Yes, Tom, anything else we want to say?
No, I think just to stress that, at the moment with the team formation, this isn't the sort of, if you don't have an idea for a team, that's not a problem. We will there'll be a process starting next week to allow people to sign up to the teams which have been sort of identified. We have had a number of people contacting us outside of by email or in conversations with ideas for teams. But I would just encourage everybody to put those details into the form, just so that we have them all collected in one place. Because we have sort of a lot of emails going backwards and forwards, and I wouldn't want to lose out on anything. So great if you could just sort of fill in the form that I've shared in the chat. It won't take too long. Apparently, according to Microsoft, it only takes 5 minutes to fill in the form. So yeah, it's not an onerous form at this stage.
Well, even that, I filled it in a couple of times already, and it depends on how detailed you will be in the first set. But action point number 1 for all of you is identify a title of the team. So all of you who are planning to have a team, identify a title, a working title. You can refine it later, but a title for your team or mini project, and a short description. Later, we will ask you to elaborate a lot more, but at this stage, it's important for us to do this juggling of team members, that we have a title, so we have some idea what you want to do, and a short description. That will be very helpful. So that's step number 1 for you.
Yeah. I don't know if there are any questions.
Yeah.
Are there any questions from people in the chat or in the webinar? I don't know if you can.
I don't see any hands raised. Do you? Let me see. I don't see any hands.
Oh, then they all popped up at once.
Yes, perfect.
Dor, can you speak? I don't know. Oh, I can allow a microphone. There we go. Now you should be able to unmute yourself. Dor, are you able to unmute yourself? I'm not sure. As I say, first time I'm using Teams as a webinar tool. Still muted. You should be able to unmute yourself now. I'll just answer Roxanne's question in the chat. In the meantime, I'll try and fix this as well. Make presenter. Or you should be able to talk now. Yeah, to Roxana.
Yeah. Now we're good.
I'll just answer a quick question to Roxana in the chat, just to say that we've already sort of seen in the pre-registration the themes that you're interested in, but we will sort of make a list available of all of the teams that you can join once they've been identified. So then you get to choose which ones fits best with the theme that you're interested in. Sorry, Dor.
Yeah, right. So I have a question. How do we know the level of expertise or the range of capabilities in our teams?
So I think so if you in the form we ask if you've already got team members in mind. You can already say like the kind of participants that you have in there, if you have people that have a specific expertise. Maybe I would suggest if you're looking for a specific expertise, then put it in that form as a, we're looking for ... in that form. I agree. Maybe we could have a category, and I can see if I can add that quickly after the meeting. What kind of capacity or what kind of skills are you looking for? I'll probably do that quite quickly so that people can provide that now.
Yeah, Dor, in the checklist that you, as a mentor of your project in this hackathon, will get, it's actually mapping the interest of the participants in your team, the skills they have, and also the capacity they have to work. So you will do this kind of mapping as part of the next step after the title and the short description. It will be this mapping. So as a mentor, as a lead of the project, this is an exercise that you will go through. So that's how you will know. And then we have also said we are quite flexible, even though we had the deadline last week. We are quite flexible. So if you can identify, in order to really solve the problem I want to solve in this hackathon, it would be nice to have this and that competence. Do I know, or do anybody here know somebody? Then we can invite those persons as well. So, but there will be a checklist for all those who are leading. Well, each team will get this checklist, and the mentor or team leader will be responsible to do the work, to make the work actually, done.
Okay. Good.
Arne, you've got your hand up, and I've made you a presenter, so you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Well, I'm Arne Berre from Sintef. Digital in Norway, also involved in the Iliad project, but also some supporting projects on biodiversity and freshwater and socio-ecological data that all might be connected to and benefit from the creation of digital twins of the ocean. In different areas. Obviously, with the physical location in Oslo, we will be able to support digital twins of the Oslo fjord, in particular with the local sensors and other things here, but you're free to have this anywhere on the Earth. Also, in the context of DTO interoperability, we mentioned some of the Iliad-related platforms, but in particular for interoperability, we'll be supporting links to EDITO, the European Digital Twin of the Ocean, as it will be presented at the Digital Ocean Forum on June 15th, and I gave the link to that in the chat. And this is again aligned with the architecture of digital twins of the planet and the Earth, of Destination Earth, and the link to that as well. And there will be support and competence from these that also will go into the support team of the hackathon. So that's also something to keep in mind, as these are also important projects in the bigger picture, and interoperability with this is also something that is important that we will be supporting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And by the way, so what we hope to achieve here is to improve the pilot twins that we have in Iliad, but also demonstrate that we can build new twins. And that might be a very big project. So we have discussed that you can define smaller projects, address very narrow challenges, if you like. And then we can see the interoperability, for instance, in the case of the Oslo Fjord, we foresee that we will build, hopefully, we will be able to do that, set up that project to build a digital twin of the Oslo Fjord, but it might be components, for instance, citizen science is already a team that is forming, and we might also have like a special sensor team, and then make these projects within the hackathon work together. So to divide, it's possible to divide, bigger projects into smaller and make them interoperable within the hackathon. Actually, we will encourage this interoperability between, some of the teams that you are forming. And of course, it depends on the location and the thematic area and so on. But that's what we hope to see demonstrated in this hackathon. Any more questions?
Are we going to use something like Event Tornado? I don't know what Event Tornado is.
We will use Discord for communication. And actually, Katja from .space has already set up the channel for where we will communicate. And we will set up a general channel. We will set up thematic channels, and we will set up team channels where only the team members are given access, so we have closed groups also on Discord. I think many of you are familiar with this tool, and you will get instructions. When it comes to the workspace, in the question Event Tornado, I think it's the Twin Lab that will be this place where you will describe in more detail what you are going to do. You will list the different resources, the data sets, the technology you are using, the platform you are using, etc. That will be something you put on that Twin Lab space for your team. Now, of course, if you are coding, etc., using GitHub and Jupyter Notebook and these kind of tools is also what you can make use of. But generally, it's the Twin Labs. We want to use the Twin Labs and Discord for communication. Take the floor if you want to be asking more specific questions. Raise your hand so Tom can allow you to speak.
I don't see any more hands going up or more questions in the chat. But as I say, we will send a follow-up email after the webinar with the details of how to form the team, and we'll have a link to this webinar on the Iliad website as well. So if you want to refer back to any of the details, you can do that there. And just a reminder, we have 2 more webinars planned this week. Bente, there's a webinar on is best practice tomorrow, is that right?
Yes, tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central European Time. There's standards and best practices for this hackathon, and it's meant to support you to choose a method based on experience and choose standards, etc. So you get an instructions or help with that. In addition to that, we have lots of educational material, and we will make this also more structurally available for you for the hackathon. It's around and about on our webpage, etc. But we will create this resources page for you with this kind of educational and instructive information. But next, also tomorrow, and we will provide the links to register in the hackathon. It's already on the hackathon webpage that I shared several times. You can see actually at the bottom of the page, you can see the announcement for these both of these webinars this week. So the first one is standards and best practices for this hackathon, and the second is Tom.
There's an event on Wednesday at 3 o'clock CEST on Gen AI and Digital Twins the Ocean. And we're having a guest speaker from a company in Norway called Cognite, who developed digital twins for industry. And they've been incorporating Gen AI into their digital twins for the last year or a couple of years. What's very interesting about that is, of course, they have to pay special attention to the issue of non-hallucinating Gen AI, which is for any digital twin purpose, that can't happen. So yeah, we're looking forward to that presentation on Wednesday, and then more will be announced as we go forward. Yeah. Good.
And so both of these webinars and the way we have been talking about this, you might think that it's very technical and coding and modeling and so on, but this is not all. To build a digital twin of the ocean, you need ideas, you need to understand the end user, you need to understand how you can make your digital twin sustainable, so having business and economic perspectives. You need to have political knowledge, what's the policy, what policy do you need to respect, and how can you improve the basis for new policies, etc. So it's soft sciences or soft knowledge, and also in addition to the technical part. So even if you don't feel like you are a technical person, if you're not a technical person, you are more than welcome. I'm sure we will be super happy to have you in the hackathon.
Absolutely.
There's a hand.
I will try and make that person a presenter. Yeah, you should have access now to speak.
Surinder, yeah. Surinder Kalra?
Yeah.
Yep. You have to unmute yourself, Surinder, if you haven't.
Okay. Thank you. And here I'm sending you greetings from India. My name is Surendra. I'm basically a CPA with an experience of 42 years in financial and non-financial reporting and assurances. We have a vertical which has developed certain solutions in Industry 4.0, which we included data analytics, IoT, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. And we are trying to converge these technologies into attainment of the UN SDGs, 17 SDGs, including climate change, carbon capture, and SDG for water SDG for sea and other things. And so what is happening is that nowadays a lot of development is taking place, and we want, if you can do some hand holding with us. We have given certain solutions to the government of India as well as to the government of Mongolia for mining and climate change there, agriculture sector. And if now a latest thing which has happened and is happening, going to happen globally also, is the ESG ratings. ESG assurance, some audit is guidelines are coming up through IFEC 5000 standard is there. And so if we can do some hand holding and we want to develop certain solutions for ESG rating, credit rating.
I think that sounds like it could be a very interesting idea for a team. I would suggest you put that in the form, and especially the kind of areas of competence that you would like to have added to the team, and we'll and that could be made available to the other people to sign up. So yeah, that's how I would encourage you to find people that would be interested in that topic. But thank you for the question.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Great.
You too.
Thanks.
See another question at Edmund, I think. Again, let me make you a presenter, then you can ask your question. You should be able to unlock yourself now. Unmute yourself even.
Yeah, unmute. Remember to unmute Edmund Clark. Maybe there's a delay. So Edmund Clark, can you unmute yourself so you can speak? Maybe it was an accidental hand. No. I tried to unmute. Oh, he's having trouble unmuting. Okay.
Maybe you could try, if you can't manage to unmute Edmund, you could put your question in the chat and we can read it out. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Hi everyone. So my name is Chireset Clark, and I'm from Madagascar. It is a big island at the eastern of Africa, and I work at the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development as a head of payment for ecosystem service department, and I'm also a temporary teacher at the universities of Antananarivo and Vienna also. So thank you for your presentations. It was very, very interesting, and I would like to ask maybe one or two questions. The first one is about is my country as an island bordered by Indian Ocean and Mozambique Channel. Is it concerned by this project hackathon? That is my first question. And my second question is about if your research is yes, and I'd like to have a more explanation about how can you help me to work at this hackathon, Iliad Hackathon. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for the question, Edmund. So we've as we sort of, like you will have seen, we've tried to make this hackathon available to anybody who would like to participate. Obviously, the Iliad project is based in Europe, so we haven't actually got any partners within the region, the Madagascar region, that kind of West Indian Ocean region. But I would suggest it as well to you if you were to sort of if you're interested in forming a team around a specific topic, it might be that you find that there are partners who are interested in participating. So again, I would encourage you to put the details in that form that I circulated earlier, and then we will make that available to all of the participants so that they can sign up. But yeah, I haven't heard of anybody else working in and around Madagascar. Bente, you may have heard differently.
Yeah. So first of all, we are mainly European. We are a European project, but we are in fact also covering Africa, Northern Africa, not Madagascar, as Tom said, but Africa and also Middle East. And so we have a specific, you might say, focus or understanding that we need to make the different regions also interoperable, work together. And so there's quite a bit of work of that going on. So in your case for Madagascar, what could be interesting is to look at what we have in our pilots, and you can pick and choose, the thematic twin, if you like, if it's oil spill you're interested, or ecologically, or renewable energy. We have a plethora of thematical twins already in Iliad, and we have a minimum viable product already. What could be interesting for you is to see if you can adapt that to your specific geographical location. So reusability of the technologies and the methods that we have developed in Iliad. That could be an interesting thing for you to do, perhaps. But you have to choose. You go to our webpage and see and learn about the different twins we have already, and see if you can be inspired to pick an area and see if there's technology also that you would be interested in testing out for your region.
Thank you very much again for this explanation. So I try to do that you said me, and thank you very much.
Right, no, not a problem. Arna, I see you've got your hand raised again.
Yes, ditto. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so Arne again from Iliad. We are also involved on the United Nations international level with the DITO, which is the global initiative on digital twins of the ocean, with the objective to do this on the global level. So you will see from the website on the Ocean Decade, it's part of the UN Ocean Decade, and the digital twin of the ocean is one of the acknowledged project areas where there is a current set of groups that we are involved in. There is a set of working groups on data observations, on data analytics and prediction engines, on data lakes and interoperability, on interactive layers and visualization, and on the overall architecture and framework, including also education, training, and capacity development. So we are also linked into this. Operationally, the idea is that we will have topics and teams that in principle should be able to be deployable and work in all places in the world. And we will work with the DITO group to ensure that. Although the data we have directly available from, say, the partners involved is typically from European region, and of course in particular from Oslo, where we will have the physical location. But the idea is that the principles of the twins we are creating should be deployable and portable to anywhere in the world that would have an interest in that subject and topic. So that could also be an exercise how to do that.
Absolutely.
Great.
Any more questions? So then I think, yeah, go on,
Yeah,
Tom.
I don't know. I don't see any more questions. So I think it's good we could wrap it up. Arna, just so you know, we can see all of your screen. Great. Okay, well, so maybe I'll just finish by saying thank you very much for joining the webinar today for the team formation. We'll, as I've said several times now, follow up with an email with more information and look forward to working with you on the hackathon and seeing what teams come out of the process. So yeah, thank you very much for joining today, and don't forget to sign up to the webinars that we're organising this week on the Iliad website and more details to come. So thank you for joining.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very
Looking
much.
forward to meet you.
Thank you
Thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
We'd certainly like to keep in touch with you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
You too.
Bye.